Welcome, everyone. I want to introduce you to my good friend, Fred Brown of Northeast Family Credit Union up in Connecticut. Welcome, Fred.
Thank you for having me.
And, we here at the Credit Union Connection at Own Your Banking, we like to be a little sassy, and I know Fred is full of sass. So I think this will be fun. So, Fred, why don't you talk a little bit about what Northeast Family Credit Union is doing for its members throughout the COVID crisis?
We did a number of things, just like all credit unions in February, especially March of 2020, when the world, especially the United States, was turned on its ear and had to figure a new way to do things. It was kind of a pausing everything and realizing what we were going to do differently. We stopped all of our on-site visits and did a lot of Zoom calls, and I've gotten so used to just sitting there and talking like this to people on the computer and doing this. It's really kind of boring after a while. So we recognized that even though we're a closed credit union, we're a seg-based credit union, we have a lot of our groups, our partners are frontline workers. So in middle of May, we chose, I was 20 or 25 groups and bought lunches for all of them. Most of them were Kentucky Fried Chicken lunches that we would deliver. So at any one given day, I've got 300 lunches in my car. My car smelled really good for a month or so. We would bring to our members, and actually not even just to our members, but to all the employees at our partner group. So they could just have a free lunch and know that the credit union was thinking of them. And we did that for a few weeks. And I think we delivered something like 2,100, 2,200 lunches around the area.
Wow. Yeah.
And then it went a number of weeks, actually it was a few months, and I think in September, to make sure that they knew that we were still there, still available, still thinking of them, because we were all still going through it at that point. We had a local candy bar, a candy company here called Munson's Candy. We had them make candy bars for us, and we bought, I think, a total of 2,500 candy bars, customized candy bars.
Where's
And
mine?
again, I'll see if I can dig one up for you, Sarah. And just, again, delivered them to the companies to say, here, thank you. We know you're doing a great thing. And we all were masked and everything else, that just here. We've done a lot of the COVID relief efforts through our credit union, very, very low interest loans to help people get through, especially the folks who've lost jobs. The skip payments on the payments, the charges for those, we've negated. Assistance with helping to plan out how their finances would go, loan payments and everything, anything that we could do to help them. We had processes in place, and we had a number of people that took advantage of those, but strangely enough, not as many as we all thought. We did monthly check-ins with all of these programs, and we all thought people were going to be taking these loans out left and right, because the rates were I mean, our rates are really good anyway, but these rates were just off the charts, being that we wanted to help people. And people just weren't taking them. So we came to the conclusion that people in our neck of the woods were faring just a little bit better and not taking as advantage of our programs as we thought. So we helped where we could.
Right. And that's a similar situation to my credit union. I serve on the board of my credit union. And we had a similar situation. We had all these offerings, but in the end, and so I think it's still good public relations that they know you're there for them, right?
Sure.
Even if they're not taking the loans. So that's really great information. I know before Corona hit, your credit union was also involved in reality fairs and other things that you were doing for your members as well.
We did I just forgot the name, but financial education in the state was originally developed back in 2009 or 10 by a woman named Barb Bass with the league, and I was on the committee, and we started doing them all around the state. So we finally whittled it down for the past 5 or 6 years that we would do 6 statewide, and average and attendance was about 500 students, which is amazing. And they were always free to the students, free to the schools. There was no cost whatsoever. The only cost the schools incurred was busing, transportation. And the students would leave with a backpack or back sack, I guess they called it, of goodies, as well as the education and the portfolio. So they would get the education, they'd be able to use it, they'd go back to their schools, and their teachers would be able to talk to them about it and actually learn something. And it was, experiential learning, not just sitting in the class and lecturing, which we all know how fun that is, right?
Right. And, I've heard about those reality fairs where kids walk out and be like, I'm never having kids. I'm never going out. It's that real, right?
We've done, I mean, I've been involved with this for 12 or something years. I've heard so many students just walking through and you pick up things, and I've heard them say, I've got to go home and hug my mother. Like, yes. And, I'm not going to get this kind of car, and I'm not going to go here, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And you really hope these nuggets stick, but we all know how students are in one year and out the other. And you just hope that some of it will stick, because we've done these in some school systems that, the average household income is $25,000 with 4 people in it. And you know how tough it is to live on that. So to have these students go through and just gain a little nugget of information that they're going to carry on throughout their high school career and do if they go to secondary education and then into adult life, even if it's something as simple as pay yourself first, you just hope something will stick.
Well, and as you kind of mentioned there, alluded to, it's not just about financial wellness. I mean, when you talk about, I got to go home and hug my mom, they're recognizing the value of family and working together. And there's a lot more than just money that goes into those kind of things that kids can take away from them, for sure.
Right. Definitely.
And so I know your credit union, as well as yourself, you do a lot of volunteer work. Recently, you had done the Freezing for a Reason, which honestly, you have way more guts than me to do that. But talk to us about that and why you got involved and why it's important.
Having guts is relative. It started out 12 years ago. This few weeks ago was our 12th year. I started it in 2010 as just a way to raise money for a local organization. It's the Colchester Fuel Bank. Many folks have to choose between medication and heat, or food and heat. And it just seems that they shouldn't have to. I can go over to the wall and turn that thermostat up and get plenty of heat with no problem. Folks keep their houses at 55 degrees. The first year we did this, we had somebody come up and say they were so grateful we were doing this, because it was a woman who had 3 or 4 kids. Her husband and kids would sleep in the living room with blankets tacked to the door to keep all the heat in one room, because they couldn't afford to heat the rest of the house. And I thought, there's just something inherently wrong with that. So I thought, I've got to figure a way to raise money. It was winter. I said, what's the craziest thing that I could do? Somebody said, well, camp out. I said, I'm not a camper. I don't have a sleeping bag. And I went, oh, that's probably even better reason to do it. So started it in 2010 by camping on the Colchester Town Green from 2 p.m. Friday till Sunday at noon, 46 hours. And I invited, originally it was 2 guys. After the first couple of years, they decided not to. We got 3 other gentlemen that have been great. And so the 4 of us do it for 46 hours. And in 12 years, we've raised a little over $140,000.
Wow. Just a few guys. It only takes us one small step, right?
Well, and nothing, there's no great marketing effort, which I know with me, you think there would be, but it's literally just, we put a 5-gallon pail out there with a sled in it, and people can buy and put money in it. And people, we do it in February. People will often say, well, you've picked the worst weekend to do it. And we try to tell them, this has been the second weekend of February for years. So we don't really pick this weekend every year. It just happens to be that weekend. And then people will say, well, you should do it in August. And I said, yes, but then it's just 4 guys getting away from their wives. So
you're not really sacrificing there.
Yeah, then it's just fun, and every other man volunteers to join us. But we raise this year it wasn't all that cold. It only got down to 19 degrees. It wasn't cold. I know. I see the look on your face, and everything is relative, right?
Yep.
But 5 years ago, it was minus 11 the first night without the wind chill. And the second night was -9. It was a little nippy. We got about 3 hours sleep, and then you just get up and you stand by the fire, because that's the only way you can keep warm. You can't sleep when it's that cold. So, and that year we raised a lot of money. This year with COVID, we were very nervous because we weren't sure that people were going to come down to visit because of COVID. We took precautions. We were masked. We had gel, even though it kept freezing. We had the town had rules, so we had to keep a sign-in sheet for people that donated for contact tracing should something happen. But again, it was too cold, so the pens were freezing, so we had to keep them in our pockets and take them out with gloved hands to hand them to the people. And yet it turned out to be a record year, $19,337 for
Wow.
46 hours worth of that. So it was really, really, really good.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
If you know, we all do what we can do, right?
Hmm.
That's it.
And like you said, it's just a few guys camping out in the middle of a, city green or county green. Yeah.
All you do.
Every little step, every little person can make a big difference. And I fully believe in the butterfly effect as well, because when people have that one small little bit of help with their heat or their finances or whatever it is, it can be exponentially good for the rest of their lives.
And we were trying to tell people this year, especially with the number of people that are out of work because of COVID, who've, number one, they've lost their jobs, and the people that are forced to work from home, they're spending more money on heat, whether it's electricity or wood or pellets or oil or something. They are spending more money on heat. So if you can help keep it a few degrees warmer in their house, apartment, wherever they are, the students that are there, whether they're elementary or high school, are better able to learn. And again, the butterfly effect go for and take it further.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And there again, it's not just, a what's the word I'm looking for? It's a whole person type of wellness when you do small little things like that too. So,
Exactly.
I mentioned that the freezing for a reason because I've known of that for a long time, and it looks like a very cool fundraiser. And I I feel like the credit union community tends to draw in people who want to give back, who want to give more of themselves.
Certainly.
Um, I feel like you maybe have gone to, I don't want to say extremes because it's amazing stuff that you've done, but you literally gave away your kidney and you have a cake for it every year. And so it cracks me up on Facebook. So can you kind of, I know it's been a while now, but can you kind of talk about
But
that?
you know, it's not, but you know, it's not that big. And that you were alluding to beforehand, that credit unions seem to attract people, like me. And I think that's very gracious. I really appreciate that. But credit unions tend to attract people who want to do good in the world. So they attract people that do this kind of stuff. And it's not, this sounds kind of grandiose, and I don't mean it to sound like this or discounting. It was no big deal. As I said, actually, in the TV interview that I gave when I did this, it ain't no big deal. You've got a spare, why keep it? In 2009, the end of 2009, just 6 weeks before I camped out on the green, I gave away a kidney. People said, well, did you know the person? I said, no, I just called the hospital and asked if they needed one. And they asked me if I had somebody who wanted to give it to. I said, well, don't you have a list of people? I thought you had something like that. Um, you know, and in the 10 years since, and you've seen me a number of times, I am certainly not suffering. I don't, my diet is fine. I have a couple of drinks, I smoke cigars. So if you can do if you can do something good, why wouldn't you? You're
Mhm.
not using the other kidney, give it away. So, credit unions will attract these type of people that want to do good. I certainly want to do good. So do what you can. I just happen to be able to give a kidney just as most other people are able to.
Mhm. And I love the humbleness. I just give away a kidney, no big deal.
Well, they told me I'd get all the free ice cream I wanted. So I said, sign me up.
Heck yeah, heck
Hey,
yeah.
I got 5 weeks off from work.
If they had offered you scotch and cigars, what would
I would have been there that day. But I mean, it was 5 weeks in December. I got to stay home with my two dogs. I got to sit in the hot tub after a couple of weeks, visit with my dogs, read, watch movies. I mean, and cost me not a dime.
Mhm. And I know
So
you're
why?
a big dog fan too, or dog rescuer.
Well, yeah, but my dogs tend to rescue me.
Yeah, it's often
So,
that it works.
well, you know that.
Yep, I've got two of my own. as much as
So,
I grumble about them occasionally.
and I do the same. I just took my latest one out, Charlie, and he's a handful because we aren't trained, but we are going to be trained, and we'll all get along well.
I love that you include yourself in that training.
We all have to work together.
Just a quick final question. Why, why do you've been in credit unions a long time. Why do you stay in credit unions? What do you feel is the ultimate mission and goal of the credit union community as a whole?
This is so much a cliche, whenever you go for a job and they say, like sales people say, well, I can't sell anything I don't believe in, or I can't work for this company, or I can't just unless I believe in it. Unfortunately, with credit unions, it's true. I became a DE, a development educator, back in 2008, and they really teach you about the credit union movement, the founders, and much about the history, which many people in the credit union world don't even know. It's just a job to many. But for those of us DEs, it really carries forth. So, we're a nonprofit, not for profit, I should say. If you're looking to get rich, you don't get a job at a credit union. People do it because they actually believe in it. I have seen the results at my credit union. We're a relatively small credit union, but I've had people that I've known through the credit union who will say, you helped me get this, a car, a home, a personal loan, whatever it is. You helped me get out of this jam. You helped me when my car died and I had no car to get back and forth to work. I made a call and I had a car the next day. All of these success stories, and I can't count the number. So yes, can the job be stressful occasionally? You betcha. It's like any other job, but you get reinvigorated when you hear a story such as that, or if you have a memory of it, or somebody says, I remember that you did this for me when, and you go, yeah, that's why I do it. I will get through today and we'll start tomorrow and we'll help somebody else. So
Exactly.
you can help people.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what drove me to volunteer on my credit union's board as well. They helped me out of a little stupid jam I got into when I was young and dumb, that many of
I
us
find it
do.
hard to believe you ever did anything young and dumb.
Well, I'm still young, so.
Of course, many more opportunities.
That's right. I got time. No, but the considering I was talking to somebody earlier today, also in credit unions, and he said, "Oh, I've known you 25 years." I was like, "No, don't tell me."
No, it's only been 10.
Yeah. So how long have you been in the Kool-Aid?
June will be 14 years.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I
Not
got to
long.
be. But well, I started with a little newsletter called the Credit Union Regulatory Insider in '99. So it's been a while. Been a
I
while.
guess it has. We look at, we tend to measure ourselves with people we work with. I've my CEO, you probably know her, Joanne Todd.
I do. Yeah.
She's been at the credit union for, oh God, hope she doesn't see this. She'll fire me, for like 41 years.
Yeah. Wow. I would not guess she must have been a teenage.
She obviously started when she was in utero. So, but I mean, yeah, and there's, as I said, we're very small, but we've got probably 25% of our folks that have been there 20 years and longer.
Mm-hmm.
So people stay for a reason.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And our credit union's a similar situation. We recently had a wave of retirements just because so many people are hitting those 30-year marks or whatever. And it's just, but it's good. It's good to have that fresh blood come in as well, as different people roll off and you get new and different ideas.
We were talking earlier about why I liked working with a credit union. It's, first of all, I've noticed I mean, I'm the older part of the workforce. I didn't start yesterday, so I've had a couple of careers before I worked at the credit union. So I know that when I say this, I know of what I speak. Credit unions are a lot more lenient, a lot more accepting of trying different things. Now, in our credit union, we've had bathroom displays. I wanted to show what people could get if they took a loan. They could redo their bathroom. So I actually had local bathroom companies come in and install a toilet, a stand-up shower, and some shelving and stuff like you'd have in your bathroom. And there's a picture of me sitting on the toilet a number of years ago, which is great, right in the lobby, right when you walk in. I thought it was a great shot. And that year after or something, I had hot tubs delivered to the office. So they had hot tubs in each office. Granted, they weren't filled, but still people got the idea. Motorcycles, they had Harleys in the offices. And it just, a lot of companies won't embrace that. Credit unions seem to understand that you've got to do something new and different and attract some of the younger folks. And all this stuff does. You've got to get creative. And credit unions seem to embrace that. So it's much easier to be able to do that and be excited about it.
And how do you convert that in a digital world? Loaded question, I know.
Well, yeah, that's with a lot of pictures and frequent social media posts and frequent emails. And I mean, I'm sure you belong to the Bed Bath and Beyond thing where you get 14 emails a day, right? So it's just getting the word out as much as you can and creating fun. We don't do a lot of come take a loan with us because we've got the lowest rate or because this. We tend to do fun things. I do contests all the time on the social media. It's not, we are not a high pressure sales thing. And that's what I try to tell people about, credit unions, that we are not the, oh, I'm going to get blowback for this, the windows or the aluminum siding folks, we are, hey, you need a loan? Come see us, we'll help you. But it's everything's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And then, I think everybody is kind of that challenged with that. How do you make it digital and how do you make it work? But we're trying, like you said, credit unions are trying different things and working to get there.
When you find the answer, let me know.
I'll let the world know for a prize. I won't need to win the lottery anymore. But
You don't stop playing.
yeah, no. All righty. Well, Fred, thank you so much for your time today. Appreciate it.
You're
And
welcome. It's
any last words of wisdom?
Do something fun.
That's awesome. That's an awesome way to end it.
Well,